algebraic and transcendental. Have you any idea transcendental functions? What is those functions? Any idea? Transcendental function is algebraic function. You can, by seeing your power, you can tell how many roots are there. But transcendental functions, their power may be 1, but roots may be many, sin x. So, there are so many roots. So, we cannot define those functions algebraically. So, those type of functions we are transcendental. Log x, it cuts only once only. And then length, tangent, area below curve, and all these things are there. These are the characteristics of these nonlinear functions. Number of roots equal to highest power of independent variable. This is for explicit functions, and number of bends, how many bends will be there, that bends will depends on the power, again 1 less than the power, and how many point of inflection will be there, it will be 1 less than the bend. So, if somebody asks that point of inflection, okay, any idea about what is the point of inflection?
So, like there is a x y is equal to x cube curve, then at the point 0, like that is called the point of inflection in y is equal to x
The
cube.
curvature of the curve changes.
Yes, curvature of curve changes. These are the classical definitions. Can you show a example?
Like she said, y is equal to x cube. The
Geometrical
value-
integration. Geometrically, we should able to see.
This is a point of inflection.
How you will define it? Suppose my curve is like that. I will try. Now, what is the? Can you explain? This is also curve, no? This is also curve. Anybody? Point of inflection geometrically? You see, this is the difference between conventional teaching and for that classical definition you have given, but if you do not have any clarity about that values, that makes a difference. So, I am focusing on those issues. Actually, you can see that this is a you can say bend or something, convex, concave, all these things you can define. These two type things, central point here. Here it is difficult to tell this slopes changing, no, here also changing. Here this slope, change of slope is 0, that you told, and this is happening when in between two bends. Always, suppose I am driving a cycle, I was going this direction, then I change this, then again I change this. So, somewhere I might everywhere I change my direction, but somewhere change of direction will be 0, when this tangent will coincide with that curve, that point is point of inflection. But naturally, basically it is the point between the two curves, where rate of change of this tangent is 0. And I have given this one y is equal to m x plus c, here root is 1, here a x square root will be 2 and there will be one bend, and a x cube plus b x square plus c x is equal to 3, 2, 1. Here you see only when the power is 3, then only this point of inflection come. So, do not try to find out point of inflection in a quadratic or linear equation. There should be two humps, actually opposite humps, then only you will get a point of inflection. And if it is x to the power 4, root will be 4, then bends will be 3 and 2 will be the inflection point. Clear? And this I have shown, you know already these things. So, calculus is one of the most breakthrough inventions made by human. Okay. These are the terms associated with this. When we start a calculus chapter, first what we are being taught initially? Any calculus book starts with function directly, limits, variables. Before that,
function
let me check what they have started with. They have started with graph, I think. Yes, functions and graphs. But mostly it starts with real numbers. It is, and number system is being redefined there, and then it tells us a real analysis. So, it has not started because it is a higher classes in book, and there is variable, function, limits, continuity, derivative, infinitesimal, finites, infinites, increments, differential, integrals. Functions now clear, relationship between x and y, and what is limits now? Can anybody define limit? Anybody?
Closest value of the function at the point. Suppose
Draw a
let us
function
take
and explain.
Just take any function.
Yes.
So we want this value at 3, but the function is not defined at 3. So we need to find the closest value that approaches to 3. From
Very
left
good.
hand side or right hand side.
Yes. So, actually what happened, any function, suppose y is equal to x square. So, we are interested to know at 2 what will be the value of y. So, what will be value? 4. In limit, we are not interested to know what is the value of y at 2, at x equal to 2. 4 we know, but we are interested to know what will be the limit, means when we approach from left or right, then what values it will take, both cases, is not it? Anybody having not clear, please come out, because these are the things which will make your math in later phase simpler or difficult. If you are not clear about this point, then it will be always difficult and it is the informal platform where you can get it clarified. Next, why it is required? Why it is required? At x equal to 0, what will be the y?
Infinite.
undefined or infinite, same thing for the same scale. We know this, we are not interested in that, but now we are what we are interested, if we approach towards 0, x equal to 0, then what will be the values x will y will take, and typically you know how this curve will look like. Let us put it in Excel, we have now tool. Next worksheet you can use x and y. Here x you can take -5 again as usual, -5 and increment it by 0.1. What is the formula? X is equal to 1 by x. You see this is the value x is coming from 5 to this one towards 0, and it is going to minus infinity, and when it is approaching from plus 5 to 0, it is going to plus infinity, is not it. So, by knowing what is the value of y undefined, okay, but how it is approaching it, it is approaching in two direction, it is not direction. In other cases it is approaching to a particular point, but in this case it is not approaching a particular point. So, it was a problem, because all the points I cannot by looking. So, when if I now I have made a graph, that is why I am seeing that it is moving in opposite direction, but actually I cannot presume now when it will run opposite direction and at what point it will be moved particular point. So, to know that Newton has devised that limits, and this limits gives us okay. So, limits you got roughly one idea, and we will explore all these things repeatedly throughout these next sessions. So, I am stopping there. Now, with this information it is okay, it is running in two direction. What this information will be used? What for? Then comes this continuity. It establishes that it is a continuous function or not. When it is continuous, then what will happen? There we will get a slope or dy dx, otherwise we cannot calculate dy dx. So, it was his problem that he was handling so many functions and equations, no, and it was difficult for him to know that at which point it is continuous or not. So, he has made small devices, and now we learn this without knowing that what for it is being used. And mechanically we learn, yes, we learn it, we can reproduce it, we get number, but we never can use it, we cannot feel what was the requirement. And I do not think very few students have clear idea, even I was not knowing what for limit and continuity is being taught. So, here I have written something, tools required, interpolation and slider. This is not available in your courses, but I want to introduce these tools here, because you know that you as Ritu told that we want to know when this point, when we approach this side or this side, where it is point goes. This is the thing, no, limit. This way we want to know. So, we start at one point and we try to come towards a point, or from here we want to go there. So, from moving here to here, what we can, how we can move? In book it is written 3 to 2.5 to 1.5 reduces gradually, but we do not have any mechanism for that. If we have to use for hundreds limits, we have to calculate, then we should have a tool for that. And what will be the tool? That tool is interpolation. What is the interpolation? Interpolation is a tool which takes me to from one point to other point. So, I want, suppose it is 1 and this is 5. So, I want to move from 1 to 5